Hi Dave, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, Naz.
Good. Thank you so much for your time today. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Naz Darcy. I'm your customer's success manager at Freshworks. And today we're going to be finding out about Dune's customer experience story and how they've adapted to an increasingly challenging business environment to do some amazing things within customer experience. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself as well, Dave?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Dave Abbott. I'm the head of IT service delivery for Dune London. Dune is a footwear fashion retailer selling ladies, men's footwear and accessories around the UK and Europe and internationally. We're based in central London, and then we have a customer engagement team which is based up in Leicester, and our warehouse is based in Leicester as well. And then you'll find us on most high streets across the UK. We've got about 2,000 people that work for Dune in total, and then from that there is 20 people up in Leicester who are in our customer experience team who are using the Freshworks products, and then we also have some users from an IT perspective using Freshworks of about 25 in London as well. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Great, thank you. And so what different Freshworks products do you use at Dune? I know you've already mentioned a few.
Yeah, so from an IT perspective at the moment, we use Fresh Service and we use Fresh Cooler. And then from our customer engagement team, we use Fresh Desk, Fresh Cooler and Fresh Chats. So there's three up there, which is great. So kind of quite a few all linked in together nicely.
Absolutely. So I obviously work quite closely with you. So I know that a few weeks ago you were using these products a little differently than you are today. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so from the IT side, we've been using Fresh Service and Fresh Cooler for the last just over a year, so coming up for 18 months, I guess. And that's to deal with any IT queries coming through, and also phone calls now, which has gone on live earlier this year. And then from our customer experience team, we use the three products I mentioned already to kind of give that option for our customer, be it an online customer, an in-store customer, to contact us with any query, question that they've got regarding their purchase, regarding future purchases, or anything within the business. And we try and make that as easy as possible so they can contact us via any channel which suits them best. So we have a standard email channel, which obviously is where Fresh Desk comes in for the majority of things. We have a phone number where the guys are talking to customers on a daily basis, and also our chat engine on the website now, which have got bigger and bigger over the last couple of years. So they're kind of the three main ones, and then we also engage via the social media channels as well, which comes into Fresh Desk. So that's kind of how the products were being used 6 weeks ago. We are mainly office-based, so like I said, the customer experience team is based up in Leicester in one of the offices there. And there's about 20 of those users, so in the office working shifts from 9 till 8 o'clock Monday to Friday, and some weekend hours as well.
Great, thank you. And so obviously a lot has changed in the current COVID-19 situation. How have you adapted to this challenge with Freshworks? And are there any features or tools that have made a huge difference in making this easier for your teams?
Yeah, so definitely we've changed dramatically in the last couple of weeks, I guess, of how work looks for Dune and what's going on. So firstly, the majority of our London office started to work from home just over 2 weeks ago, which was a big change. We have 150 users there, and so Fresh Cooler was amazing for us down there. We took, I think, a 500% increase in calls that week via Fresh Cooler, and actually my service guys were based at home taking those calls like it was exactly the same as they would be in the office, which is amazing. And then with our customer experience team, last week they began working from home in Leicester, so a little bit behind because of how London was affected first. And again, exactly the same actually. So working from home seamlessly pretty much. So the benefit of Freshworks being what it is it's a SaaS solution. So it was really easy to get up and running with the products at home. The interesting challenge for Dune was that we didn't have everyone with mobile devices 6 weeks ago. We have pretty much all of our customer experience team now with either a work or a personal device, and then using various security tools on top of that to make sure they're compliant to do their job, but then actually able just to log into the SaaS solution and take calls, answer emails, have chats through the Freshworks products really seamlessly. So the customer doesn't know any difference actually whether the guys are based in the office or actually working at home. And also their safety is obviously paramount for us. So it's important that they can stay safe and be at home and kind of do that thing.
That's really great that you were able to get set up so quickly. I know that that's a challenge or has been a challenge for quite a few companies, especially in your space. What are your top tips for companies who are also responding to this challenge, especially within retail?
Yeah, so I guess it's that ever-changing challenge that we face as retail is always quick moving. So this has obviously been a acceleration in some of the working from home practices that were starting to be adopted across the business anyway. So I guess the key ones are making sure some key workers are mobile straight away, which is good. And then having that support structure there, because when someone does begin to work from home and has to change their way of working, there will be those extra security pieces like VPNs and things like that to support them through getting online, to make sure there is a secure connection and we are being careful around those parts of it. So I think making sure that support team's there, making sure you're friendly and supportive with them with their challenges, kind of my key top tips for changing quickly in this environment.
That's really useful. Thank you. So I guess my next question is, what's the next step for you within customer engagement as you now enter a bit of a new world, but also are thinking about getting back to normal in the next few months?
Yes, I think you and me have spoke quite at length now around how we want to carry on pushing forward. We're always about evolving our customer engagement piece at Dune, so making sure it's fit for purpose. And customers' expectations are always changing, so whether that's the channel they want to contact us on, the speed they want resolutions, or just actually that they want to kind of have that voice-to-voice contact, that chatting contact. So we're always evolving that. So I think we are actively working to improve on our KPIs with the help of Freshworks. So with regular reviews, which is really good. And then also look at where self-service is applicable. So making sure our FAQ section on the website is really up to scratch and has as much useful and relevant content on there. And then looking at if there's any option for us to do any automation. So whether that looks like AI, which fits the business well, or whether it's some kind of automated processes. So working through kind of how those opportunities can be delivered within our customer experience team is kind of our next step on what we could try to achieve even more, which would be good.
Definitely. And I think we can do a lot of that work across the different products that you're using with us, because they're all speaking to each other. So there's definitely a lot of exciting things coming up. So my next question is, what are the biggest trends within software and IT that you are most excited about personally?
So, yeah, interesting. So I think the biggest trend that I'm really seeing, I think, is really making a difference is strong partner relationships. So Freshworks is a great example of someone that we brought on quite recently, but working together to deliver a great experience for our customers and for our team members using the products. And I think those strong partnerships, so instead of having one person doing our calls, one person doing our chats, one person doing our emails, actually because Freshworks has all three of those together, the integration is really tight, and actually that we can focus on that partner relationship to really push that forward. So I think that's key, and that's echoed across other parts of Dune's IT and infrastructure with different SaaS providers and different software providers, which is really key. So I think that kind of leads us to the second one, which is around trying to make stuff online and accessible as easy as possible. So SaaS solutions and those kind of ways of delivering products now seems obviously far more reliable, always on, backed up on the cloud, etc., which is really key. So kind of those two tie into one another. And I guess the final one, which is probably a big trend I've seen, is kind of collaboration tools, so how they work. So whether that be Zoom, obviously has gone crazy in the last few weeks. At Dune, we've adopted Microsoft Teams in a big way over the last few weeks. And so it's really kind of how those remote working tools and collaboration tools are really going to start to flourish in this year, I think, because of what's accelerated their growth with the working from home. So yeah, some kind of key things I think are going to happen in IT in the rest of 2020 once we're back to the day-to-day, hopefully.